Welcome back to the Business Book Club. Today, we're diving into something, well, really transformative. It challenges how we usually think about success and happiness, especially when you're building a business.
Absolutely. We're stepping away from the standard how-to manuals for a bit.
Yeah, this is more fundamental. We're exploring the work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, specifically his book Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience.
A truly seminal work. It's not just about getting more done. It's about finding deep fulfillment in the process itself.
Csikszentmihalyi noticed something interesting, didn't he? That even with all our modern comforts, many people feel, well, kind of empty, anxious, or bored.
Exactly. He argued we're often seeking happiness in the wrong places. Chasing external things, wealth, recognition. For entrepreneurs, that constant push for the next milestone, it's easy to fall into that trap.
Right. We think success causes happiness, but maybe it's the other way around, or at least more complex.
His core idea is that satisfaction doesn't come from just relaxing or consuming. It comes from actively engaging, from mastering challenges. It's about controlling your inner experience, not just reacting to the outer world.
So our goal today is to unpack this flow concept. What is it, really? What are the ingredients? And crucially, how can you, as an entrepreneur, cultivate more of it?
To bring more enjoyment, more meaning, and yes, even more sustained success into your life and work.
Okay, let's get into it. What exactly is flow? People talk about being in the zone. Is that it?
That's a good starting point, yeah. But Csikszentmihalyi defined it more precisely. Optimal experience, or flow, happens when your body or mind is stretched to its limits.
Stretched.
Yeah, in a voluntary effort to do something difficult but worthwhile. It's not passive, it's something you make happen. It's active engagement.
Huh. So it's not about kicking back on a beach. It's more like a climber totally focused on the rock face. Or maybe a coder deep in a complex problem.
Precisely. Or an artist lost in their work. The key is that it often involves effort, even struggle, but the experience itself is so rewarding it becomes its own reason for doing it. It creates order in consciousness.
Order in consciousness. What does that mean?
Well, our minds are always processing information, right? Loads of it. But our attention is limited. Csikszentmihalyi talked about psychic energy, basically, our attention. Where we direct that attention determines the quality of our experience.
Okay.
If we let it wander or focus on worries, we get what he called psychic entropy. Chaos inside, anxiety, boredom, fear, that feeling of being scattered.
We've all been there.
But flow is the opposite, is when your goals are clear and your attention is fully invested in meeting the challenges. Information flows smoothly, your consciousness is ordered, aligned with your actions.
So flow is about harnessing that limited attention,
Mhm.
directing that psychic energy purposefully.
Exactly. And doing that consistently doesn't just feel good in the moment. It builds a stronger, more resilient self over time. For an entrepreneur, turning daily tasks, even the tough ones, into flow opportunities is incredibly powerful.
Okay, this is fascinating. How do we actually get into flow? You mentioned ingredients.
Yeah.
Csikszentmihalyi identified 8 key components, right? Consistent across different activities and cultures.
Yes, 8 main characteristics. Think of them as the conditions that make flow possible. The first one is absolutely crucial. Challenging tasks that you have a chance of completing.
So not too easy, not too hard.
Right. It's that sweet spot. Too easy, you get bored. Your skills aren't being used. Too hard, beyond your current skill level, you get anxious and overwhelmed. Flow happens right at the boundary where the challenge matches your skills, maybe stretches them just a bit.
So for an entrepreneur, that means constantly finding projects or problems that push you but are still achievable, like developing a new feature, maybe?
Perfect example. Or figuring out a tricky marketing campaign. It needs to demand your full capacity, but you need to believe you can actually do it. As your skills grow, the challenges need to grow too. Otherwise, you slip back into boredom.
Okay, challenge matched with skill. What's next?
Concentration. Deep, unwavering focus on the task at hand.
Easier said than done these days.
Tell me about it. But it's essential for flow. You have to be able to tune out distractions, both external, like notifications, and internal, like worries or unrelated thoughts. The activity has to completely absorb your attention.
Like that physicist climbing rocks you mentioned earlier.
Thanks,
Real
Rachel.
focus.
Everything else just fades away. You're fully present.
Okay, challenge, concentration. What else?
Clear goals and immediate feedback. These are non-negotiable.
Why both?
You need to know what you're trying to do. That's the clear goal. And you need to know how you're doing moment by moment. That's the immediate feedback. Without a goal, your focus scatters. Without feedback, you can't adjust your actions to stay on track.
Makes sense. For an entrepreneur, that might mean breaking down a big project into smaller steps with clear outcomes.
Precisely. Or looking at daily sales figures or website analytics, or even just the immediate result of a coding change. It doesn't have to be huge feedback, just clear signals about whether your actions are moving you towards the goal. Think of a soldier and they get immediate feedback. A tennis player knows instantly if the ball went in.
Okay, so clear goals, immediate feedback, the right challenge, deep concentration. What about how it feels?
Ah, yes. During flow, you experience deep, effortless involvement. Action and awareness merge. You're not thinking about doing it, you're just doing it. It feels spontaneous, almost automatic.
Like you're on autopilot, but a really skilled, engaged autopilot.
Kind of, yeah. And related to that is a sense of control. Not necessarily control over the whole situation, but control over your actions within it. You feel competent, able to handle the demands of the moment.
Even if the situation is risky.
Especially then, sometimes. Think of a skilled pilot in turbulence, or a founder navigating a tough negotiation. They feel in command of their responses, using their skills effectively.
And then there's that interesting paradox.
The loss of self-consciousness.
Right.
You become so absorbed in the activity that you forget yourself. Worries about what others think, how you look, your ego, they just vanish.
Which must be incredibly liberating.
It really is. But here's the paradox. Even though you lose your sense of self during the activity, afterwards, your sense of self often emerges stronger, more complex, because you've achieved something and expanded your capabilities.
Wow. So you lose yourself to find yourself, in a way.
You could put it like that. And finally, the eighth element, the transformation of time.
Yes, where hours feel like minutes.
Or sometimes minutes stretch out, like in a critical moment. Time perception gets distorted because you're so deeply engaged in the present. It's a very common marker of being in flow.
Okay, those 8 elements paint a really clear picture. But applying it, especially that paradox you mentioned earlier about work versus leisure, that caught my attention.
Yes, the paradox of work. It's fascinating. Csikszentmihalyi's studies consistently found people reported being in flow more often at work than during leisure time.
More often at work. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, right? At work, people felt challenged, skillful, concentrated, creative, satisfied. During leisure, especially passive leisure like watching TV, they often reported feeling apathy, low challenge, low skill use.
Yet everyone wants more leisure time and less work time.
Exactly. That's the paradox. We experience more flow and positive states at work, where the conditions are often naturally aligned with flow elements, clear goals, required skills, feedback. But culturally, we value passive leisure more, thinking it's the key to happiness.
So we're wishing for the thing that often makes us feel less engaged.
Often, yes. This points to the importance of developing what Csikszentmihalyi called an autotelic personality.
Autotelic, meaning
It means finding rewards in the activity itself. Auto-self, telos equals goal. Not needing external rewards like money or praise to feel motivated and engaged. An autotelic person can find flow even in activities others might find mundane.
like the examples in the book. The farmer finding joy in milking cows, or the welder turning factory work into a craft.
Exactly like them. They actively structured their attention, set mini goals, sought feedback, and continually honed their skills within their work, finding intrinsic satisfaction.
So for an entrepreneur, this means even the less glamorous parts of the job, like admin or dealing with complaints, can become opportunities for flow.
Potentially, yes, if you approach them with the intention of mastering them, finding ways to improve, setting small challenges. It's about consciously directing your psychic energy, transforming the experience from a chore into a challenge.
And this autotelic mindset must be incredibly useful when things go wrong, which, let's face it, happens all the time in startups.
Absolutely vital. It fosters what he called transformational coping. When faced with setbacks, a failed launch, losing a client, an autotelic person is less likely to see it as a catastrophe.
They see it.
As a challenge, a problem to be solved. They focus their energy on finding solutions, adapting, learning from it. They have this sort of unself-conscious self-assurance, not arrogance, but a quiet confidence in their ability to figure things out, to use their skills to navigate the difficulty.
So they're not dwelling on blame or fear. They're focused on the task of recovery or finding a new path.
Exactly. Their attention is on the challenge itself, not on protecting their ego. Like Lindbergh focusing minutely on his instruments during that Atlantic flight, not paralyzed by the danger.
This connects to something deeper, doesn't it? Beyond just making work more enjoyable day to day. What about meaning? Purpose?
Yes, that's the ultimate payoff, really. Csikszentmihalyi argued that life doesn't come with prepackaged meaning. We have to create it.
Through flow.
Through integrating our experiences, particularly our flow experiences, into a larger framework. A unified flow experience centered around a life theme or a unifying purpose.
So for an entrepreneur, their business isn't just a way to make money. It could be the vehicle for that purpose.
Precisely. That purpose acts like a guiding star. It gives significance to the daily challenges, connects the dots, and channels that psychic energy towards something bigger than just the immediate task. It turns work into a coherent narrative of growth and contribution.
It provides the why behind the what.
Beautifully put. And having that strong purpose makes the effort feel worthwhile, regardless of the immediate outcome. It fosters commitment, which is essential for navigating the long, often difficult entrepreneurial journey.
Especially today, with so many choices, so many potential distractions pulling us in different directions.
Right. Freedom is great, but too much choice without a clear purpose can lead to paralysis or diffusion of energy. Committing to a meaningful, challenging goal actually liberates us by focusing our energy and unifying our efforts. It's about deciding what problems you truly care about solving.
What an incredibly powerful framework. So, summing up for our entrepreneurial listeners, flow isn't just a buzzword.
Not at all. It's a state you can actively cultivate. Don't just wait for external success to maybe bring happiness. Design your work, your projects, even your difficult tasks with those 8 flow elements in mind.
Find challenges that match and stretch your skills. Set clear, specific goals. Build in ways to get immediate feedback. Practice deep, focused concentration. Protect that time.
And try to cultivate that autotelic mindset. Find the intrinsic rewards in the process itself. See setbacks as challenges to overcome, opportunities to learn and grow stronger.
And maybe the biggest takeaway is this: learning to control your attention, finding joy in the doing, and connecting it all to a larger purpose. That's not just about productivity. It's about building a business and a life that feels truly meaningful and worthwhile.
Make your work your great game, as Csikszentmihalyi might say. A source of continuous growth, engagement, and deep satisfaction. That's the real win.
Think about that this week. What's one part of your business you can turn into more of a great game? If you found this deep dive valuable, please subscribe to the Business Book Club for more insights to fuel your entrepreneurial journey. We'll see you next time. Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.